Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is DB333 and welcome back to Hearts 4. The New Order don't surf as, South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, war is hell. What can I say? War is broken out. And we have to figure out our way out of here. Knowing that they aren't able to defeat us and our American allies by fighting fair, the German invader has exploited the divisions in our country and weakened our will to fight. Spearheaded by traitor Albert Herzog and armed to the teeth with German weapons and equipment, armed terrorist militias are terrorizing loyal citizens, murdering army recruiters, raiding our supply lines, laying landmines on our roads, and ambushing our troops. The so-called hidden front is taking its toll, not only on our men, supplies, and morale, but also to our spirits of our allies back in the United States. We've got to question their presence in our continent. If it must be stopped, we have already beaten them twice and we'll do it again, no matter if they call themselves commandos or werewolves. So, yeah, I gotta get working on that. I'll get moving there. I think that's... okay. That's not good. Fuck. Well, we got some Yanks. There are the Yankees. Thank God for American intervention. Okay, alrighty. We're gonna have to... okay. Here's what we gotta do. I think the time for all that is... I'm bashing my fucking head at the AI constantly and these fallback lines. So the move is... the OFN comes to our aid. We've said our prayers as we've held the line Reich closer to Cape Town, and alas, we've been answered. By an overwhelming majority of the United States Congress has approved a resolution allowing President Nixon to take all necessary measures to prevent further aggression from disrupting forces in southern Africa. Elements from the armed forces are stemming fast onto our shores as we speak, ready to relieve our lines and push back against the rebels and their puppet masters to the north. In the meantime, surplus and factory-fresh equipment arrive at our docks in record numbers. Thousands have since crowded their harbor to greet their saviors and new allies with welcoming arms. With the might of a free war at our beck and call, the Union may yet live to see not only the borders crushed, but fascism's taints purged from our continent once and for all. Send the word. The Yanks are coming. Oh, we're getting some good defense now, actually. So now we got that, I think an offensive line is definitely something we should consider. Now let's focus on shattering the shield. The German Reich's presence in Africa is a giant with feet of clay. Sprawling from Gabon to Mozambique, their colonial empire can seem impressive at first glance, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Being run by three bickering dictators unable to work together, over-reliant on indolent mercenary troops and plagued with anti-colonial insurgents and bandits lurking around every German garrison, we will turn those rebels into the demise of a Nazi invader just like they tried to do with us. The Germans don't have the experience in fighting bush wars as we have, and still fight like they are in Europe. Small bands of armed discontent Africans will pin entire divisions away from the front lines and make the arrogant Reich commissars lose sleep at night. They were so the win when they armed Herzog's traitors, and now they will reap the whirlwind when we arm the African partisans in their domain. Sounds good to me. Let's do it. Now we just kind of gotta no longer get the effect from surprise attack. So what do we want to do? Emergency weapon shipment sounds good. We can increase our policing force. Get some extra manpower. I think we'll do that. Unassigned divisions. Ooh, American volunteers. Beautiful. I think we want to maybe do a different little offensive. We'll do a front line. We'll keep it here for now. Got some more tech as well. Large-scale exercises. House divided. The foreign media has often depicted the crisis in North Africa and ensuing wars against the North as a struggle between Anglos and Boers. The truth is, as with most things mediatic, is more nuanced. A small minority of Boers has opposed the violent separatism of their fellow citizens. The number of these loyalists has been growing thanks to the Boer Republic's willingness to abandon democracy and side with the Northern fascists. Many of these young loyalists have joined the South African Defence Force and performed valiantly on the battlefield in the Queen's Boer Guard unit. In turn, many Anglophone citizens are disgusted with the government's weak response to the ANC and have urged terrible retribution. At the war's outbreak, scores of fascist Anglophones have been fled north to join the British states or have stayed home to act as an insidious fifth column. South Africa weeps for her children. What else can we do? We can develop Aranja, but we don't own it. We occupy it. We don't own it. That's the main thing. Pact display. They're kind of at war with us. I don't think I really care about the pact. We can ask for OFN stationing, which I think we'll do. Nick, we'll move your... We'll rearrange this real quick, get that going. And then from here, my vacation. Dear teacher, my last vacation was not the way I thought it would be. On one Saturday, my mother woke me up really early in the morning. I argued with her as I wished to sleep more, but she told me to pick up my backpack and fill it with clothes because the Afrikaners were coming to hurt us and we must flee. I didn't understand it, Mr. Christensen. From the bakery is Afrikaner, and he always treated me very kindly. If those Afrikaners are as nice as Mr. Christian, why should we run from them? Father told me that she was wrong. We're not running from anyone. We're taking a train trip to the sea. The train was very crowded, and many people looked very scared. Some were crying, including my mother. But my father took me to the window and sat there with me, watching the view. We saw many wonderful animals, many springboks and gazelles. We even saw a lion. I had some pleasant dreams that night, dreaming of the sea. When we arrived at the Cape, everyone was smiling. We were finally going to leave the train. I was really anxious to see the sea for the first time. I looked out of a window and there was a mass of people waiting for us. Maybe they would prepare a welcome party. But then there was a man climbed on a bench and spoke to the crowd. These Kafirs won't come off in our station. And everyone started yelling and spitting at us, calling us dirty animals. I don't know why. One of them threw a rock at the train windows, hitting my face. I started crying when I saw blood on the rock, and my father gave me a strong hug, telling me everything will be fine. That very moment, the train started moving again, and we finally escaped the angry people. When the train stopped, we finally arrived in the camp my father promised us. I've never camped before, so I was very happy, but I still have to get used to sleeping on the floor. It's so much harder than on a bed. These were my vacations, teacher. I liked camping, but I'm upset I still didn't go to the sea. We can maybe try an offensive. In fact, it looks like that's the play right now. A little spray. If the Marines had the SS and the Boer Commandos, and the Air Force had the Luftwaffe, Wesley Evans thought, then logistics must too have an adversary. So like a genie, Africa had given them one. Case in point, the flying black devils buzzing around his ear. His neck bore a landmine of red swells, itching harder than gonorrhea. No use swatting them out of the sky. The red swell, shaped like his right ear, served a painful self-inflicted reminder. He sighed, slumping against the drive wheel. The motor pool was ever under attack from the free advisories: boredom, heat, and mosquitoes. He learned to deal with the first two, now for only something to deal with the third once and for all. "Wes!" shouted Gary Murkowski. Evan tilted his head to the side. The half-naked Americans mossied towards his truck with what looked like 2 cans of spray on his hands. What did he want this time? He asked as much to his fellow trucker. "Well, I hear you got a little fly infestation in these parts." He shoved the cans to a few inches away from Evan's faces. "So he brought these from back home." Colored him surprised that an American would propose a potentially disastrous idea. "And I won't keel over from spraying these things onto myself. How?" Murkowski shrugged. "Don't knock it till you try it." Evan switched his gaze between the can and the American. Incidentally, the itch on his neck flared up at the same time. He bit his teeth and scratched the spot until his nails dug deeper into his skin, leaving behind a trail of blood. The buzzing in his ears continued to taunt him. "That does it. Give me that," Evan spat, swiping the extra can off Murkowski's pre-offered hand. He pressed the release and sprayed lemon-scented aerosol on the dashboard, on the seats, and on his clothes and skin. He ran out of aerosol before he knew it, but bands of mercies, the buzzing stop. But mercies, the buzzing stop. Wearing a wide khaki-eating grin, Murkowski said, "Told ya." Evans bathed in his newfound relief, too much to do anything but glance at the can that saved his life. "DDT," it said the cover in bright yellow text. Oh. Oof. That's, That's what we call, dramatic irony, ladies and gentlemen. We got another attack bonus against, a lot of people, actually. Let's fund everyone we can. Which gives us a lot of, Behind the enemy lines there are hundreds of angry and ruthless men who are tired of living on the Reich's jackboot and are more than willing to attack their German soldiers and settlers, execute their recruiters, and sabotage their infrastructure. Right now, those groups are already a significant problem for the Reich. The problem that will double when we start supplying those rebels with some of our more advanced weapons. Some of the more conservative officers in our defense group are against supporting groups like UNITA and ZANU, who committed attacks not only against German assets but also against South African soldiers and civilians. They must know that in these desperate times we need all the help we can get. If arming those radicals will keep the German army from advancing on the Cape, then by God we will do it. Desperate times, desperate measures, you know how it is. Yeah, move up in there. Oh no, that's my Orlando. That's my man. I just lost. That's not good. See how the rest of the war is going. It's between Bormann and Goring. Bormann usually wins, so I'll give the edge to him. We'll just see what happens. I'm gonna excerpt oral interview with Barnard L. Hayes, PFC, 2nd Recon Battalion. My mother raised me proper, as she used to call it. She said I'd never be like those boys who teased me for being from the poor end of South Central, because I'd been raised to be better than them. Funny how that changed once I joined the army, but I like to think of myself as a man of words, not a fist. At least not when I'm off duty. Never expected to get myself into a situation like this at any rate. I have 3 siblings at home. Lord knows I've built patience for each of them. But those South Afrikaners, man, I thought I was dealing with my own brothers. When I was off duty, I swear, it was more on edge than those damn foothills. There ain't nothing like finding out your own men got a tighter set of lips on them than the people you're trying to help. Listen, I know you're recording to try to document this. I just want to say that I ain't trying to stereotype the whole damn country. It's just that they got some Uncle Tom foolery going on in here. Hell, the reason I got in a scuffle, hope I held my own in there, was, well, I was trying to get light of some R&R in a coastal town I'd been rotated to, and I met these soldiers from 45th Battalion, South African Armed Forces. I fought with them, well, my unit had fought with them for 3 months. I thought they'd recognize me from my tab when I hit them up for a light. You know what they told me? They pointed to the damn Zulu soldiers down the street and told me this part of town was, well, whites only. Damn the Afrikaners to hell. I didn't come here fighting stupid white lily powder boys so I could get lip from them off duty. And I don't regret what I did either. I'm recon, remember? Learned Zulu as part of translation duties. I'm damn glad I did too. Look at those Zulu faces. I should have lit my cigarette with that. They say black skin hide a heart. I've never met a nice South African. Do we want to try to sneak up here? Just leave us vulnerable. I think we'll hold off. We're doing some pretty good pushes right now. How are our casualties? 19k versus 27k. All things considered. Holding our own. If they have to fall back, they're falling back. We're doing half decent, actually. Can we, take these guys out? It doesn't look like it. Never mind. It was hot, humid, smelled of rotten meat, too. Private Adrian opened his eyes and his stomach lurked at what he saw. Bodies strewn about, half-eaten by swarmers of maggots and flies. Did we take Johannesburg? Fuck yeah! Sorry. Walls and floors stained with dark crimson splatters. A prison cell. Those stone-gray walls and bars. Anyone there? He called out. And then his left arm drawing a fierce, piercing shriek on his lips, and memories from his mind. A battle with those filthy boars and their corrupt friends. A blast of a side shrapnel digging into Scrim, screaming in black and nothing else. The door swung open as if on cue, revealing 3 men with batons. "Hello, Adrian," one said with false cheer. "Glad you're still awake." Cheer faded as a frown took its place. "Now face the wall." In one hand, the blackjack struck Adrian's black with a resounding crack. The prisoner yelled as he slumped a bloody heap onto the floor. Another swing, directly behind his head, and Adrian saw black again. He woke up the next day to a haze of this vision, and blistering sores stabbing at every bit of his skin. Hair stood on the end as a baton struck the cell's iron bars. Hair stood out on the end as a baton struck the cell's iron... I read that already, my bad. The 3 officers had returned, this time with a bowl of pap. Smiles wide as they regarded his hobble towards the bowl. Baton swung out his hands away as he reached for food, cracking finger bone and drawing another bloody stream. Pap fell to the blood and dirt smeared floor with a wet smack. Adrian smelled into his captor's soulless eyes. He flashed for mercy. The German bastards would never give him. Like a dying mouse toyed by cats before they descended for the feast. As he slipped into black a 3rd time, Adrian knew he would never leave his cell. They caught another one. Well, war is hell. Flight of yet. Jesus Christ, we're getting a lot of fucking... For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty. As a forward air controller, Captain Williams was pilot of a light reconnaissance aircraft controlling patrols near Pretoria when he received a distress signal from Captains Benjamin Buckley and William Havelock. His immediate decision to enter their proximity revealed a numerically superior hostile force poised to surround the crash site of a Huey gunship. The Boer force, realizing Captain Wilbanks' discovery had compromised their position and ability to launch a surprise attack, immediately fired on the small aircraft with all available firepower. Meanwhile, they began encroaching upon the crash site, while pitting Captains Buckley and Havelock down with the small arms from side. Realizing that the air rescue elements cannot arrive in time to evacuate the stranded pilots, and despite cognizance of both the limitations of his lightly armed aircraft and the enemy's overwhelming firepower, Captain Williams immediately assumed a covering, close, supportive role. Flying through a hall of withering fire at a treetop level, Captain Williams deterred the Boers' advances at first with a salvo of white phosphorus rockets, then with rifle fire from the side window of his aircraft. Despite increasingly intense anti-aircraft fire, Captain Wilbanks continued to disregard his own safety and made repeated low passes over the enemy to divert the fire away from the crash site. His daring tactics allowed the rescue helicopter to successfully enter the combat zone and extract Captains Buckley and Havelock to safely. During his courageous attack to protect the withdrawing helicopter, Captain Wilbanks was mortally wounded, and his bullet-ridden aircraft crashed onto Boer lines. Captain Wilbanks' magnificent action saved 2 fellow pilots from certain death or injury. His unparalleled concern for his fellow man and his extraordinary heroism were in the highest tradition of the military services and have reflected great credit upon himself and the U.S. Air Force. Medal of Honor, citation for Captain Hilliard A. Wilbanks, United States Air Force, Toaster Cobra 7. I think I'll read this in my next video. So, thank you for watching. As always, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of my content in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more uploads every weekday. So I was there for Saturday. If you have any comments, feedback, concerns, anything of that sort, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. I read all comments I get, and I appreciate any all feedback you kind of folks might have for me. If you want to send a few bucks my way, I have a Patreon down link below. So you can, if you're so inclined, you can send a few bucks. Donate if you want. If not, or if you can't or you don't want to, I understand. But I'd appreciate it. If you could also have Discord down link below. If you want to check that out, we can chat, play games, and just have a grand old time generally. And I also have a Twitch if you want to check that out. Admittedly, I'm not the best on uploading there, or streaming, but I try to do it. And if you guys are ever interested, you can go ahead and hit a follow to be notified whenever I go live. So yeah, thanks for watching as always, guys. My name has been Doggo333, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.